Hi guys, it's Weedle with another tank review today. We are reviewing the Tiger Mouse, and as you see, immediately I blocked my own platoon mate from getting out in his light tank. So I did immediately fail at driving in this match, but as you can see, Kaiser there was a good sport about it and just continued on. Um, I chose this map. One, I had a great game. Two, it's Prokanova. This is probably not usually considered a very good super heavy map, but as you see, the Tiger Mouse has got the armor to make it work, especially on this ridgeline. Some of the biggest advantages that you'll find when playing this tank, or if you have to play against it, is it has excellent frontal turret armor. It's actually thicker than the Mouse, which is a bit insane because it is a tier lower. But that still being said, I would not consider this tank overpowered. It's a good solid tank. It's essentially got the same gun as the E75, or not actually the same gun as the Mouse, but with better gun handling than the E75 on probably a worse platform, especially being rear mounted. Rear mounted tanks to me just create a lot of awkward gameplay, and it kind of highlights some of the weaknesses of this tank, which is good. It has some because it's got excellent strengths, excellent gun handling, um, uh, good alpha damage. It can effectively trade. You know, a healthy base hit amount of hit points. Um, it can side scrape really well. I would say it's not like a Mouse where you can get away with over side scraping. If you try that, they will just penetrate the sides. So it does take a little bit of practice getting used to it. Okay, so we've got an EOC and all that talking about the good gun handling, and I fired a ghost round. But it happens. But as you see right here, this is good matchmaking for this tank. There's no arty, and I can just play this ridgeline, and there's really no way these tanks could penetrate me if they did fire at me. I'm only mildly worried about the 832. He's more of a nuisance that I have to keep track of in this match. But you see the Object 7-2 right there, and he's got his gun pointed up, and what he's trying to do there is hide his two cupolas on top, which is probably the main weakness of that tank from frontally. And I try to do the same thing when I do it, and I will try to do a tank review on that one. But yeah, back to the Tiger Mouse. You see, they're really just kind of struggling there. I'm not really giving them anything but my turret. I'm using what gun depression I do have, just coming over the ridge. There he is. And I go for a cupola shot right there. Don't get it. I see the Skoda T56 trying to make a play or do something. I'm not really sure what he's actually trying to do right there. But we make him pay for it. And for most of the match, I'm just playing this thing. Every time I get loaded, I'm kind of coming back up, looking for the shot. And I really thought he would back up right there, but he decided he was diving in to kill our light tank, which is a pretty ambitious move. I think he does get away with it, though. Oh, spot the G-Sor. Right there. Put around in him. Looks like I had a teammate shoot him as well, and I got the spotting damage for that. So I'm not sure how I spotted him. I guess he shot at me or shot at someone. But another nice thing, obviously it is a premium tank. I have a pretty good crew. I think I have a Mouse crew on this tank. Might be my E100. I'd have to go back and look. But both crews are about the same. I don't play super heavies a whole lot. But sometimes. Right here, I want to just take care of the 832. He's proxy spotting, and if you notice, we have a random event coming in. And I don't know if y'all have turned on the random events, but I actually kind of like them. I take a shot from the 752 right there, but it's okay. I took care of the 832. I've used my hit points very well this match. First time I've been pinned, I've blocked 2,000 damage. I've got 3,000 damage total with a kill and 1,700 spotting. 4,700 combined. There you go, showing off the gun handling again. But yeah, this tank just feels comfortable playing as long as you're patient, you're not overexposing. The real mounted turret makes it really awkward when fighting if you're trying to be aggressive. Like if you have to come around a corner, you just have to expose the whole lower plate and you just get pinned. Um, so like my advice is when you're playing this thing is find a spot, hold down, side scrape, and just fight from that location. Um, and hopefully they're aggressive enough to take the fight to you a little bit. Um, I find every time I've tried to really push aggressively with this tank, I've just gotten chewed up. So, and like I said, one of the worst things is your lower plate has is the engine, and every time you get pinned through that, the front lower plate, it always knocks out your engine. Um, let's see, round goes high. So I'm up to 4,400 damage. I'm still just playing this ridge line, and for the most part, they've given up trying to pin my armor, my turret. So, yep, go ahead and knock him out. And as you see the match, like we're up on hit points, but from a tank standpoint, it's even. So this is kind of one of those awkward parts of the game where your team could start throwing away their tanks. Char, and not gonna get a shot, but hey, look who pops up. And this is the part where you wonder, are they paid actors in this match? Because every time I got a round loaded, it's like someone pops up for me to shoot. Not that I'm complaining, but right here we got a normal, just a standard AP round loaded, and gives us side armor. It's an easy pin. 5,500 damage, 2K spotting. This is a good game for this tank. See, it gets a little bit better. Here's an example of Tiger Mouse being sideways. It just, you know, it's not an issue to penetrate from this angle. Oh, gets pinned again. I hold my round just a second to see if he turns again, and he does. Thank you. Up to 6,100 damage. At this point, it's basically just drive forward and finish him off. But I would say a few things about the, if you do get this tank in the loot boxes, it seems to make pretty good credits thus far. Haven't really had an issue in it. I do fire a lot of premium rounds out of it because I tend to be fighting tier 9, tier 10 heavies a lot. But other tanks, the AP rounds, fine. Most tanks. Get another shot there, 66. And hey, look what we found, even 90. I'm guessing again he fired because I didn't proxy spot him. But this is where the vertical stab comes in really handy. Just allows me to kind of fire around shots like that. The Char 4 is going to try to make a run. He's 2 marked. Put around in him. A little bit of a low roll, but not by much. Just like by 1. Is this 3? No, I high rolled him. It's 320 off. 520 off, I think. I didn't lead him enough there. Yeah, so it's not an overpowered tank. Seems to make good credits. It's not my favorite out of the loot boxes, just because it's a German super heavy. So I mean, it ends up being a very passive light tank, and of course, but yeah, if you like playing German super heavies, you'll really enjoy this tank. If you like just being a more passive player, again, you'll really enjoy this tank. It certainly does really good at just finding a location to fight from and fighting at that spot. Like I said, every time I push aggressively, I just get chewed up. The lower plate doesn't hold up. Your engine gets knocked out. If you come around corners, you have to expose your side. A lot of things that make this thing awkward at to play aggressively in. But it does have a little gun depression. It does have the capability of side scraping really well, and it has an excellent turret. So if you can make those things work for you, you'll have a lot of success. I actually end up capping out this match. as you see, I struggle with my thinking here. I'm like, oh, get on cap. No, I want the damage. And then I decide, well, I'm not going to be able to shoot him anyway, so I get back on cap. And I really have no idea where he is. I assume he's like in A0 hiding, but there he surprises me. He did go to the A line. And it's just the Char 4 there. I don't think he's so much just running away. I think he's trying to find opportunities to get more damage or reset if possible. It's just, it's a tough situation. I'm not going to criticize him for doing that. I would do the same thing. He didn't go drown himself or drive off a cliff. So I always can respect that. And he was probably hoping I would get off cap, but I'm not going to. And that right here, what I'm doing is I'm assuming he's driving up the one line. He doesn't, in fact, end up doing that, but I was thinking it has heat rounds. I still think it does. It's been a while since I played the Char 4, but I was thinking these little crates in front of me, they'll absorb those heat rounds if that's what he's shooting at me. So just trying to put my plate between where I think the shot would come from and him, and hopefully like make it difficult on him and go. But as you see, he doesn't pop up until he's still in the A line, so he didn't try to go for a reset, and I end up capping out. But it's a good game. Ended up being an ace tanker. I think I got the invader too. I may not. I think they're sitting here, but I did get the 100% cap points. 7,700 damage, 2,000 spotting, blocked 2,300 damage. So what are my final thoughts on this tank? It's good. The DPM, with the gun rammers at 2,600, it's fine. Dispersion. I don't have all the field marks unlocked, so that'll get a little bit better. But 0.32, it's pretty good. Aim time 2.26, it's good for a heavy. I was actually wrong. It's 530 alpha. Front plate, 300 millimeters in the front here. It will hold up to most rounds. A lot of even premium rounds at tier 9. Some tier 10, a lot of tier 10s will have trouble pinning it. Do be careful if there's anybody that's sporting 320 pin or something. They'll go through it a lot easier. TDs, especially tier 9, tier 10 TDs, won't really struggle penetrating it. That's kind of probably the hardest thing to do is just kind of when you get those ear TDs, you want to angle your turret just a little, not a whole lot, because you expose like these weird cheeks on the side and they can penetrate it. But if you do it just a little, add a little effectiveness to it, try to bait in a shot. It's got pretty decent snap shooting ability. So the biggest thing, like I said, you just got to hide this lower plate because everything that goes in is going to knock out your engine. It's a solid tank if you get a chance to pick it up. If you got lucky and got it, I think it's a good tank. So I think you'll enjoy it. And thank you for tuning in. If you like the content, follow, like, share. It really helps me out. Just kind of getting started, so it's a lot of work, but appreciate you guys, and hope to see you in the matches. So what are my final thoughts on this tank? It's good. The DPM, with the gun rammers at 2,600, it's fine. Dispersion. I don't have all the field marks unlocked, so that'll get a little bit better. But 0.32, it's pretty good. Aim time 2.26, it's good for a heavy. I was actually wrong. It's 530 alpha. Front plate, 300 millimeters in the front here. It will hold up to most rounds. A lot of even premium rounds at tier 9. Some tier 10, a lot of tier 10s will have trouble pinning it. Do be careful if there's anybody that's sporting 320 pin or something. They'll go through it a lot easier. TDs, especially tier 9, tier 10 TDs, won't really struggle penetrating it. That's kind of probably the hardest thing to do is just kind of when you get those ear TDs, you want to angle your turret just a little, not a whole lot, because you expose like these weird cheeks on the side and they can penetrate it. But if you do it just a little, add a little effectiveness to it. Try to bait in a shot. It's got pretty decent snap shooting ability. So the biggest thing, like I said, you just got to hide this lower plate because everything that goes in is going to knock out your engine. It's a solid tank if you get a chance to pick it up. Or if you got lucky and got it. Um, I think it's a good tank, so I think you'll enjoy it. And thank you for tuning in. If you like the content, follow, like, share. It really helps me out. Just kind of getting started, so it's a lot of work, but appreciate you guys, and hope to see you in the matches.